Hi, it's Nell, and this is all about how and when to prune a sunburned Star Jasmine vine. Star Jasmine also goes by Trachelospermum jasminoides, which is its botanic name, and also Confederate Jasmine. And there will be a blog post to go along with this video. The link to that will be down below. I've also done some other posts about Star Jasmine, so I will leave those down there for you also. So before I started the pruning, I thought I would zoom on in so you can see how it looks here. Not that attractive. Oh, and by the way, I bought this house about two years ago, and the Star Jasmine vine was here. I did not plant it. Even though this is an east-facing wall, I am in Tucson, Arizona, and the sun is really strong here. And it doesn't get any of that strong western sun, but because the way the sun angles around in the summer, it does get a little bit in the later afternoon toward the top. That's why we're looking more at the top. The bottom isn't too badly burned at all. So what I did for this plant during the summer is I supplementally deep watered it once a month. It is on drip, but it doesn't have a big head in it, so I just gave it a little bit more water. And I also top dressed it with compost again. I had done it in the early spring, and then I did it again in July. So what I'm going to say now applies to any plant that has been sunburned. If it gets sunburned at the end of June, you don't want to prune it in mid-July because it could get burned again. And you don't want to go in too deep, take too much of it back, and then have the inner part of the plant burn too. So wait until that hot, strong, intense sun is over with for this season. And for me here in the Arizona desert, it is the end of September. I could have done it about 2 weeks ago, but we had to get the cowstung cactus pruned out. It'll all come over, and the weight of it just makes it fall down. So I wanted to get that out of the way first so that I could get onto this plant, but I would not have wanted to do it in either July or August because it just would have burned again. So a couple things about the pruning. I'm going to start on this lower half here, and I'm just gonna work my way through. I'll see if these stems are dead. I haven't even looked up close. Obviously the foliage is, so you can start small and then work your way in if need be. I'm also going to cut away a few of these really crazy wild ones. I don't want it to be like trimmed neat, but I do want to take it in a little bit, like this one here. Hey, it could practically strangle me. And the other thing about Star Jasmine, or I should say another thing about Star Jasmine, is that you don't want to prune it too heavily in the fall at all, because that could mess with the spring blooming. This one usually blooms mid-March or so. So I wouldn't want to prune it too heavily right now because I want it to flower, because that is one of the wonderful things about this plant. So the heavier pruning you do in the spring, and then if you need to do another pruning, you do a lighter pruning now. Okay, I'm going to start down over here, and I'm not going to dwell too much on this because that's not what the video is about. It's a sunburned part, but I just want to get this out of the way so that I can see what is going on. And I do start a little bit on the smaller side because I figure I can always take more off if I want to. And you can see a sap coming out there. It's a white milky sap. Just be careful of that. It has never irritated me, but don't get it on your face, your eyes, your nose, or your skin. Just be careful of it. And there's some of that sap right there. In case you didn't get an idea, I just wanted to zoom on in. Now you might be able to get the sap on your skin because I've gotten it on my skin before. But just be careful if you are sensitive to things. So just a little bit, even these here too. I'm not going too crazy with these because I want it to have still a little bit of a wildly tamed shape. Okay, so I've got most of the green taken off that I want to take off. I'll probably find a few more, but I just want to zoom in too so I can show you. This is Sunburn there. That is Scorch. Just in case you haven't ever seen it, it looks a little bit similar to spider mite or thrips. So I cut off a few of these stems and they're dead at the end, but the wood is not dead further back in. So it's gonna be a mess. Something like this that's sort of scrawny, I'm gonna take all the way back. But these, I'm gonna try to get some growth in here. Just gonna take them back and then I'll take all those dead leaves off too. Some of them I'm gonna take back completely. Oh my goodness. I can tell there is some growth going to appear. There's a node here and I can tell there is some growth going to come out on both sides, so that's good. Okay, I'm working up here now. I've got most of it done towards the bottom. Oops, that's not that good looking. I take out things like this too. I'm going to cut it back to here. So I'm going to work in here now. Get this. And with these, I'm thinning out a little bit too, because I don't really care. I really don't want this to be really a thick blob. Well, obviously it's not going to be a thick blob because it sunburns every year. It's going on 6 o'clock at night, so I'm going to be wrapping this up at some point for the day. But tomorrow I will get the ladder out and I'll get the top part. Maybe not tomorrow, soon. I don't want this to go on forever. So I'm going to work over here now for a bit. And the same thing. So I'll show you what I've done so far. Got that going on. See, right in there, there was a lot of sunburn, so I might take more of those out, those dead stems. But I don't have too much more to go. And in the wintertime, the growth comes back and then it blooms in late winter, early spring, and it's just beautiful. So it basically looks good for 8 months out of the year. And this is a drier climate, much drier climate than this plant would like. So that also combined with the sun is the reason why these leaves don't look as plump and juicy, and some of them are just discolored there. But we are in a drought here, so I don't want to be putting a lot of water into this plant because it is not the optimum plant for this climate. So I am back at it. I've got the ladder out and I'm just going to finish up by cutting back some of those dead stems, and I see toward the top and off to the side I'm going to take those down a little bit. I like to keep it at the level of the wall there. I don't want it to get any taller because it's easier to prune that way. Okay, so I've got that upper left side done. You can see it's taken down. Now I'm going to move over to the other side. It's sort of hard to do the middle because there's a little gully there and there's nothing steady for the ladder to stand on. So it makes it a little bit of a challenge. That's why I didn't show you me clinging for my life on the ladder. But I'm going to move over and get the other side done, and then I'm going to tell you what I did in a wrap-up. As you can see, a lot of debris on the ground, but this is what it looks like now. Not the most beautiful pruning job I've ever done, that's for sure, but it's better. At least most of the dead is out. And the wind is really starting to pick up, so I think the rains are coming. I think it's Tropical Storm Rosa is going to hit the southwest the next couple days. Yay, we need rain and this plant will be so happy. So in summary, the most important thing is to wait until the heat is over, the heat and the strong sun are over before you prune any sunburned plant. And second, you might want to give it some compost to nourish it along. And what I did with this is I pruned out the dead, I pruned out any stems that were crossing over, and I pruned out any awkward stems. So if you're unsure about pruning anything that has been sunburned, just start small. And you can always work your way in and see. That's what I do anyway, because I always figure I can take more off, but I can't put it back on. So the verdict still isn't out as to whether I'm going to keep this plant here or not. It's pretty for some parts of the year, but boy, the leaves are just so dry right now. It's supposed to be darker and glossier, but hopefully the rains coming in will perk this up a little bit, and it'll definitely perk up going into the cooler months. So as usual, there is a blog post to go along with this video. The link to that will be down below, along with the other videos and posts I've done on Star Jasmine. It'll also be on our website, joyousgarden.com. So I hope you have found this video about pruning a sunburned Star Jasmine plant to be helpful. I have a lot more videos coming your way, so please come back for those. I thank you for all your likes and your subscribes. I really appreciate them. Oh, I can just hear the crunching of leaves down below me. What was I going to say? Oh yes, and let's get out in the garden and make our worlds a more beautiful place. As always, I thank you so much for watching, and I will catch you in the next video. Bye.